Rising from Ashes, Thandi's Fight for Her Legacy. Chapter 1, The Fall. 17 years old. Thandi's life was a picture of joy and security until the night her father, Mr. Mokoena, was brutally taken from her. As the head of a prosperous family business in Gaborone, he was respected and loved. Thandi was his only child, and he doted on her, ensuring she didn't lack anything and was well educated. However, his wealth attracted envy and greed, even within his own family. Unfortunately, Mr. Mokoena died after a sudden car accident, leaving Thandi alone in a world of unknown. Thandi had already lost her mother few days after she was born. Few days after her father's funeral, Thandi's world crumbled further. Her uncles and cousins, who had always smiled warmly at her, revealed their true colors. They stormed her home, claiming it was theirs by right, that her father had owed them money, and that they had every right to seize his assets to recover their supposed losses. Their family's lawyer, complicit in their scheme, presented falsified documents that made their claims appear legitimate. Overwhelmed and grieving, Thandi was powerless to stop them. She watched in horror as her father's once bustling and loving home became a den of greed and deception. She was forced out with nothing but the clothes on her back. The place that held her dearest memories was now tainted by betrayal and loss. Desperate and alone, Thandi wandered the streets, her father's murder replaying in her mind. She was haunted by the thought that his own family had orchestrated his death for the sake of wealth. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months as Thandi struggled to survive. She found temporary shelter under bridges and in abandoned buildings, scavenging for food and hoping for a miracle. One day, exhausted and hungry, she collapsed outside a small grocery store. Mama Gosi, the owner of the store, found her there. Known for her kindness, Mama Gosi took Thandi in, fed her, and listened to her story. Moved by her plight, Mama Gosi offered her a place to stay and promised to help her rebuild her life. "You are safe now, Thandi," Mama Gosi said, her voice warm and reassuring. "You will rise from this, I promise you." Thandi, feeling a glimmer of hope for the first time in months, gratefully accepted Mama Gosi's offer. With her support, Thandi returned to school and threw herself into her studies. The pain of her loss fueled her determination. She excelled academically, driven by the desire to honor her father's memory and reclaim her rightful legacy. Mama Gosi's unwavering support and wisdom guided Thandi through the difficult years. Upon graduating from high school with top honors, Thandi earned a scholarship to study law at a prestigious university. She vowed to use her education to seek justice, not only for herself but for others who had been wronged. Years later, Thandi graduated with a law degree and secured a position at a prominent law firm. Her hard work, resilience, and humility earned her a reputation as one of the brightest young lawyers in the city. She became known for her tenacity and unwavering commitment to justice. One day, as fate would have it, the firm took on a new client, a wealthy family embroiled in a series of legal battles. Thandi was assigned to the case, unaware that the family she was to represent was her own father's family, the very people who had stolen everything from her. Chapter 2, The Return. Thandi's heart raced as she reviewed the case files and recognized the names of her father's family members. The faces that had once been familiar and trusted now stirred feelings of anger and betrayal. She decided to conceal her identity, using this unexpected turn of events to her advantage. This was her chance to expose their deceit and reclaim what was rightfully hers. Thandi threw herself into the case, meticulously gathering evidence and building a strong argument. She discovered that her uncles and cousins had not only stolen her inheritance, but had also engaged in numerous illegal activities, including embezzlement and fraud. The deeper she delved, the more corruption she uncovered. Despite the emotional toll, Thandi remained composed and professional, earning the trust and respect of her father's family. They had no idea that the quiet, efficient lawyer, working tirelessly on their behalf, was their niece, the girl they had once thrown out on the streets. As the trial date approached, Thandi's determination grew. She worked late into the nights, poring over documents and preparing her strategy. She knew that exposing her father's family would not only bring justice for her, but also protect others from their greed and corruption. The courtroom was packed on the day of the trial. Thandi's father's family sat confidently, expecting a favorable outcome. They had hired the best lawyer in the firm, after all. But as Thandi stood up to present her case, a hush fell over the room. Her voice, steady and clear, laid out the facts with precision. She revealed the fraudulent activities, the forged documents, and the evidence of embezzlement. Each revelation chipped away at their confidence, and by the time she concluded her argument, their smug expressions had turned to ones of shock and panic. When it was time for Thandi to reveal her identity, she removed her glasses and looked directly at her uncles and cousins. "I am Thandi Mokoena, daughter of the man you murdered for his wealth," she declared. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. "You took everything from me, but today I stand before you as a testament to justice and resilience." The jury, moved by Thandi's story and the overwhelming evidence, found her father's family guilty on all counts. The judge ordered the return of all assets to Thandi and sentenced her uncles and cousins to prison for their crimes. As the gavel struck, signaling the end of the trial, Thandi felt a wave of relief and triumph wash over her. She had done it. She had avenged her father's death, reclaimed her inheritance, and brought justice to those who had wronged her. The courtroom erupted in applause, and Thandi's eyes filled with tears of joy. She turned to Mama Gosi, who had been her pillar of strength, and embraced her tightly. Chapter 3: The Rise. With the legal battle behind her, Thandi returned to her father's house, the place that had once been her home and a symbol of loss. She walked through the grand entrance, her footsteps echoing in the empty halls. Memories of her father flooded back, and she vowed to honor his legacy by turning the house into a place of hope and healing. Thandi used her inheritance to restore the house and transform it into a community center. She wanted it to be a safe haven for children and families, a place where they could receive support, education, and opportunities. She named it the Mokoena Center for Hope, in honor of her father's vision for a better future. The center quickly became a beacon of light in the community. Mama Kosi joined Thandi in running the center, bringing her wisdom and compassion to every project. They offered after-school programs, vocational training, and legal aid to those in need. Thandi's experience as a lawyer allowed her to fight for justice on a broader scale, helping those who couldn't afford legal representation. News of the Mokoena Center for Hope spread, and Thandi's story inspired many. She was invited to speak at events and share her journey, becoming a symbol of resilience and the power of justice. Her once broken spirit was now a force of strength and compassion. One day, while Thandi was working at the center, a young girl approached her. She looked lost and frightened, much like Thandi had been all those years ago. "I heard your story," the girl said, her voice trembling. "I need help. My family. They're trying to take everything from me." Thandi knelt down, her heart aching for the girl. "You're safe now," she said softly, repeating the words that had given her hope. "We will fight this together." Thandi took the girl under her wing, providing her with shelter and support. She represented her in court, using her legal expertise to ensure justice was served. The girl's case was a reminder of Thandi's own journey and the importance of the work she was doing. As time passed, the Mokoena Center for Hope continued to grow, touching the lives of countless individuals. Thandi's vision extended beyond Botswana, and she partnered with organizations around the world to spread her message of resilience and justice. Despite the success, Thandi remained humble and grounded, always remembering her roots and the people who had helped her along the way. She often visited her father's grave, sharing her triumphs and seeking his guidance. She knew that he was proud of her, and that his spirit lived on in every act of kindness and justice she performed. Thandi's journey had been one of pain, loss, and betrayal, but it had also been one of strength, determination, and ultimately, redemption. She had risen from the ashes of her past, fighting for her legacy and creating a future filled with hope and promise. And as she stood at the heart of the Mokoena Center for Hope, surrounded by the smiles and laughter of those she had helped, Thandi knew that she had fulfilled her father's dream and her own destiny. Tune in again, dear audience, to witness the captivating tale in this African folktale filled with strength, power, and jealousy from family members. Remember, all is fair in strength and unity, but love conquers all. As you navigate the story, leave us a comment on your thoughts, wishes, assumptions, and conclusions about the story. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories from us. See you next time.